Hey y'all, it's Ask Miss G time. All right, we are gonna get right into our question today. Okay, I know I said I was gonna read two questions last week, and then I didn't read both, and then I didn't come back.
Terrible.
I'm sorry.
Terrible.
I like to be a person of my word. I'm gonna read both of them right now. So the first question is: in a marriage, you have to pick your battles. When is it a situation versus someone being petty? I'm gonna read it again. In a marriage, you have to pick your battles. When is it a situation? When is a situation a battle? Oh my God! Here's the question: when is a situation a battle versus someone just being petty? That was the question. The second question is:
When she don't want to give you no good lighting, that's being petty.
next question. The next question is: what are the signs that you shouldn't get married? Petty.
It's too late now.
Annulment.
It's, it's too late now.
Oh man. All right, these are both really good questions. And so the first one, starting with when is it a situation? When is a situation a battle versus someone being petty?
Stop shaking, sir.
I'm sorry, my bad. I gotta remember the cameras are up here. Just let's start with in a marriage you have to pick your battles.
Wait, what did you do? Okay, serious. Answer the question.
Thank you. Um, again, starting from the beginning, in a marriage you have to pick your battles. I think you have right there when we talk about picking our battles. I think that we have to understand that the biggest battle of marriage is marriage. Marriage itself is a battle. And we have to understand that when we are fighting battles, we should be fighting battles together, not separately. And looking at marriage as a battle and as a fight, we need to be together to fight all the battles that are going to come our way. But if we're not looking at it that way, then we're fighting each other and not fighting battles. And so one thing that I continue to remember as we went through our days of marriage communication counseling uh, things, um, Pastor Vince had us sit across from each other, right? Remember? Let's do it. And he said, "You just want to have this big old giant chair." We had to look each other in the eye and say, "What? Do you remember?"
Um, I'm not your enemy.
Yeah, you're not my enemy. And so we had to wait. I don't know what the hair looked like on the side. Oh Lord, email me, y'all. Okay, we had to look at each other eye to eye and say, "You are not my enemy."
You have to open up your eyes so I
Yes,
can see your
you are
eyes.
not my enemy. However, in doing that, we had to really live that way. Like, you are not my enemy. I am not trying to fight you. We need to fight these battles together versus us trying to fight one another. And, we weren't going anywhere because we were, fighting each other and not really looking at the big battle, the big picture. And so when you say when is a situation when is it a battle versus somebody being petty? Like I don't think battle and petty should even go together.
Mm-hmm.
Like being petty is a battle in itself. That means I'm with somebody that's petty. Hey, hi y'all. Thank you for joining us today. We're answering the question of the day. I read two of them because that's what I promised last time. And we're talking about the question said in a marriage, you have to pick your battles. When is the situation a battle versus someone being petty? And man, I would really like to know. I would really love a example of what petty is. But fighting each other. Mr. G left again, putting more lights on, fighting each other. Yeah, we do have to pick different battles, but we should be fighting battles together versus fighting one another. You know what I mean, Mister? Can you are distracting me right now? You can't be the camera light crew and on stage.
I need the Whitney Houston song with the man version.
So how would you answer this, babe?
How would I answer this? You got to be a united front. Can't have no infighting. So there, like she said, there's going to be a lot of battles when you guys are supposed to be a united front, especially if you're married. and you're in a committed relationship, you guys have to appear as one. Because if you don't, then the enemy can play on, either one of you, and that will cause you guys to implode. So just like, here's an example, like when dealing with kids, right? A situation will occur and something will happen, and one of us will respond. If the other one contradicts the other one, then it seems like we're not on the same page, and the kids will pick up on that, and then they'll pick and choose who they'll know who to go and who to go to. Right, exactly. Versus us backing the other one up, and then even if we don't necessarily agree.
And I think that's where the battle comes in, right? Because you may not agree. But if we're talking about picking our battles, I'm not going to tell you right then and there, I don't agree with what you said, and then make this a bigger problem versus handling the problem in the situation at hand, right? When I look at what it means to pick your battles, it says choosing your battles means to be selective of the problems, arguments, and confrontations that you get involved in. It never says ignore them, avoid them. It's just picking and selecting what you're going to make a big situation versus what can be handled, what can be simple if we come together. Like you said, being a united front, how can we handle this together? It's about, the solutions, right? But this is where the petty part come in, right? Because instead of choosing and picking problems and being selective over arguments and confrontations, when petty comes in, is I'm going to do what I want when I want, because petty is selfish. Being petty in itself is a battle. We have to fight all these battles, and I have to fight against pettiness too. Like, marriage is a big enough battle. Why be petty on top of it? And so one thing about petty, it says, I can't read the Urban Dictionary definition of petty.
What does it say? Let me see. Point it out.
No, we're not reading that. It says petty is when you make a big deal over small stuff. It says some other words. But it kind of is, right? So when I had read these questions right before we came on, I said, like when you keep leaving your socks on my desk.
Oh, we was doing that on air? That's what we was doing? That's what we was doing?
And I continue to use this situation and problem to nag at you, like, stop doing this and da-da-da. Like, I can get petty, but I mean, what does it solve? That's like trying to win an argument. If you're going into it trying to win, you already lost. Because the purpose of it is for us to attack this together, not to one-on-one have scores on how many times I won this battle or this fight, this argument, this situation. If you're already going into it looking to be the winner, you already lost. Because that's not the purpose. The purpose is being able to be teammates with another person who you may think differently from. You may do things different. You may have grown up different. Your background is different. Your ideas are different. But coming together as one to say that even though we're different, we're going to work together to be the best that we can be. I mean, how many times are you at work on a team, or you're working on a project with the team? You have to be involved with a team. If one person is selfishly trying to get their way, or one person is petty, it affects the whole team. And in marriage, you're a team. So we got to understand that the battle is not you. My spouse is not the battle. My partner is not my enemy. You're not the battle. We have to fight these battles so that we can win together. The battles of poverty or generational curses, debt, health. There's so many battles that you're going to have to face in marriage. Why use all of that energy on things that you could have been resolving along the way? Communication goes a long way. And if we really put our energy into being better communicators for one another, learning each other's communication styles, learning each other's love language, learning how to be there for one another, we can end all the petty and small stuff, because that's small. We can do that with our eyes closed. I mean, you remember the beginning days when like everything was a fight? It was exhausting.
I blacked those days out.
Because that's how exhausting it was.
I don't want to relive this trauma.
I would say that the beginning of our marriage was kind of like trauma. And it was like we fought against everything. We fought about everything when everything didn't have to be a fight. But man, when we came together to knock out battles as a team, let me tell you, it's nothing. Okay, cool. I love a good battle. Please, I don't want them right now, though, Lord. I'm not saying that I challenge it and want more. I'm saying that being able to come together and say, you know what, this is what it is right now. This is what we're under attack right now. This is the battle that we're facing right now. I have nothing but confidence in knowing that we're going to get through this battle because we learn how to fight together. We're no longer fighting separately. And again, how do you win if we're both fighting different battles or you're fighting them separately? We've got to come together to do it. And going into the second part of the question about being petty, if petty is even part of the is even in the equation, we already losing. We can't be petty because petty is of little importance. Why are we putting something that's of little importance in this battle? We can deal with that on the side. We can deal with that in another way. We don't really have to add these little things in there. And the second question of what are signs that you shouldn't get married? One is if you still that petty. If you got to make everything a problem. If everything is a problem, if you trying to win this battle by yourself, um, insecurities, lack of communication skills, I want to do it my way and only my way. Those are some warning signs. Those are some red flags. Aggression, violence,
Hmm.
um, difficulties managing money. Finances is a big thing. And if we can't come together on how we are going to manage our finances, then it becomes a battle.
Don't spend the money, Chris. Y'all not gonna get that
That's an
reference.
insider.
Y'all
I
not gonna
can't
get
stand
that
him.
reference.
I really can't.
Don't spend the money.
Not me. So, I mean, that's really how I would answer that. How would you guys answer that? You know, um, when is a situation a battle versus someone being petty? Like I said, I think petty is a battle of its own. I think petty is a battle of selfishness, a battle of I want to win.
I thought we were
Petty is
answering the second
childish.
question.
I'm going. I'm going. Petty is childish, and there's no room for childishness in a marriage. We got to be grown adults because we're gonna handle grown adult problems, grown adult issues, and if we are already coming into this in a childish like manner, um, we're setting ourselves up for failure, and that goes into what are some signs that you shouldn't get married. Um, that first question in itself. Um, being petty and wanting to win, um, making everything a problem. I find that people who make everything a problem have a hard time with taking responsibilities themselves. And so it becomes a scapegoat. I'm putting it off on somebody else versus really digging deep and trying to fix some things that I need to fix in myself. Some flaws, some character adjustments, some things that I haven't really worked on, some things I've avoided, ignored, pushed under the rug. I don't want to deal with those things, so I would rather pick a problem and make a big deal out of other things in somebody else than really take responsibility for myself. All right, I'm ready, babe. What else? What else was you gonna say? What are you doing? You understand that we are live, Mr. G, right?
Hmm?
You get that, right? You see the button. What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm listening.
Okay, what do you think? What do you say?
Some signs that you shouldn't be getting married.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a couple of things. It's are you guys agreeing? Are you guys on one accord on what your plans are? Are you able to plan with each other? Are you you know what are what are your plans on doing financials? What are your plans on having a family? What are your plans on handling emergency situations, um, you need to go into it knowing this. And I think that's one of the things that for us, like we didn't have those things. We didn't have those tools going into our marriage. Like she was expecting one thing and I was expecting another thing.
Right.
And that was a cause of a lot of fights because it was just like, why, for her, it was like, Devin, why can't you be this way? And for me, for her, I was just like, it didn't matter. And so we had a clash between different methodologies. She was expecting me to be one way because that's how she was taught. That's what she was told a man was supposed to be. You're supposed to be like this, X, Y, Z. Look at me like that. And for me, you know, I was taught something different. I didn't have, a male per se in the home to show and to guide me, or not someone that I could model myself after. So I had to come up with my own perception of how a man is supposed to treat a woman and cherry pick from here and from there. And it was
I was trying to get a sponsor.
did you even you don't do it right.
Oh, my bad.
So when I was growing up, it was different. So we even though we had similar experiences, we had different.
I would say perceptions.
Right.
Because, what you're taught is basically what you see, what you hear.
They're squinching.
Those are your expectations based on what you know, right?
Right.
And so, we knew marriage to be two different things. So we came in it two different ways. And we tackled problems and issues two different ways. And those issues and problems that we were tackling became battles in itself because we're fighting them differently. We're fighting each other over the same battle versus fighting the battle together. I like that. Right? What happened?
Your fingers swollen?
No.
They gonna think I'm on here with my girlfriend. Go find that ring.
Oh, they are swollen though. I was like, why you telling everybody my finger's swollen? Here you go.
Cause I'm like this. And here
we go.
And but yeah. So you gotta go into it beforehand, having these things kind of like together, or have an understanding that, okay, these are some of the things that, that my partner wants me to be like, or some of the things that I can do, and vice versa, so that you guys have a better understanding of how to communicate and how to go into the marriage. And if that's not something that you can do, then that's a definite, like, well, this is not going to work, because
right.
I have everyone has expectations. You guys should definitely have expectations. And if that person is unable to work at it, because remember, not everybody is going to fulfill every single expectation that you have from
right.
the get-go.
Right.
But if you guys can agree to grow, or agree to transition into some of those expectations, then I think I believe that that's a good way to go about it. Now, right. Yes, there are certain things that it's like, no, that's definitely a deal breaker.
Right.
And there's a difference between having growable expectations and deal breakers.
Right.
But there are certain things that are just like, no, you can't have 37 pets in my house when we get married. No, we're not doing that. Okay? That's a deal breaker.
You definitely want
Crystal,
a divorce from me if you want pets. You just said, I don't want to be with you no more. That was his way of breaking the news to me. He came home with a cat.
Ain't nobody coming, please.
And I guess he doesn't want to be in a relationship with me anymore. Terrible. He's asking me to move.
Terrible.
Oh, I like what you said about expectations. And so again, when we come into a marriage, right, I think that we do have expectations of what our partner, what our spouse is supposed to be like, based on our understanding, our background, our experience, our culture, whatever. I think we do have expectations. However, I don't think we really sit down. Well, I know for us, sit down and talk about what those expectations are, right?
Right.
Do you expect me to stay home? Do you expect me to cook and clean? Do you expect me to cook, clean, work, and stay home? I mean, I don't know. Do I expect you to take the trash out? Who cleans the bathroom? Who cleans the room? Who cleans the office? What do chores look like? What do finances look like? We going in this all in? We separating? Everybody they share? What does it look like? If those aren't the questions that you're asking before you get married, you already have red flags because those are very important questions in a marriage. Those are very important situations that can become battles if you are not already talking about it beforehand.
Right.
Because we expected two different things to happen, and now we're trying to make something work when we are not necessarily in agreement. Hey, how you doing? Today's questions were a doozy. I love them. I really do. I enjoy answering marriage questions, especially because Mr. G is on here, and it's not just my um, perception. It's not just what I think. And not all the time do we agree. I don't think that we really disagreed on air, but I think because we agree to disagree.
Disagree right now.
I don't think that we really. I don't even think we would disagree on camera. But if we did disagree, I think we would handle it in the manner of it's okay for us to have a difference of opinion.
Let's go. What we disagree on right now? Right now, what we disagree on?
You can't put me on the spot. I'm a laugh. You already know I'm a laugh. Look, that's one thing. I can't stand in an argument. We going back and forth, and it's really serious, and I just start busting up laughing. I can't. This is too much. This is a lot of energy. I got to remember what I just said. I can't do it. What is the solution? This is so time consuming. I really have other things to do with my day. And so how can we tackle this together versus, doing this separately? Why are we fighting one another? Let's fight the battle together instead of fighting one another. That's the biggest thing. Marriage is a battle in itself. If you go in it fighting one another, then it's going to be hard to fight the real battles that are coming your way. Your spouse is not your enemy. Fight the battles together, not fighting each other. And again, back to what are some warning signs that I shouldn't get married? Well, if we have a problem with pettiness already being a battle, we need to really discuss this before we go any further because it's not going to stop. I think a lot of times people think this will change once we get married. No, it won't. It will become the same. And then be in a pandemic together. Those battles, they're not only still there, those issues are not only still there, but now you have to look at each other in the face all day, every day with the same problem. So it's better to nip it in the bud and find a solution to those problems now versus continuing to let them fester. And so that's simply my answer. You good? You all right?
I do not have the bid. I got mucus.
Oh my gosh. I feel like every week you just get worse and worse.
I disagree.
Are we finally having our on-air disagreement?
I disagree. I had a little film. I had a little film. I had to get it out. Okay?
I think he gets worse. As time goes on, he gets worse. You guys actually get to see the Devin that I know. Everybody thinks Devin is so quiet. Devin is not quiet by any means. Right? Right, Kev? Is Devin quiet? He's not.
I'm very quiet. I'm very meek and humble.
He's not. Bestie, he ain't quiet. But those are my simple answers to it. And yeah. Anything else? You guys have any comments out there? When is a situation a battle versus someone being petty? Again, petty is petty. I mean, if I gotta literally argue with Devin over him leaving his socks on my table, I'm being petty.
All right, you keep bringing up these socks. So, just so y'all know, I'm not just leaving my dirty, funky socks on her desk. What happens is when I get up in the morning, I go to weigh myself. Guess where the scale is at? Next to her desk. So in order to get all my readings, I have to take my socks off. Now, if you know me, my socks is not that funky. Okay? Unless I'm out there
Why do they
sweating
know
and
that
working it
your
out.
socks not
Okay?
that funky?
I'm talking. Hold on.
How do they know that? I want to know who know his socks not that funky.
I mean, it was just a figure of speech. Anyway,
no.
So I take my socks off. I put them right here on the desk. I go weigh myself.
So
I look at what my results is. I say, that's terrible. And before I can go get my socks, she's like, why your socks on my desk? Just like that. Why your socks on my desk?
No. It's usually an hour or two have gone by, and I'm like, Dad, can you move your socks off my desk?
It's not hour.
Making that a petty situation.
I don't walk around the house barefoot.
Me either. I have Crocs on. I can't even walk barefoot. I have to have Crocs on. Whatever, Devin. Anyway, making that situation a big situation would be really, making that into an argument. Granted, the dirty clothes is right on the other side. I can simply toss them over there. I'm not going to make it, so it's going to fall on his side anyway. Betty.
Oh, that's what you've been doing? That's what you've been doing?
Or I could just be like, Dev, move your socks.
Wake up. What is that?
Which is really what happens. I say, Dev, can you move the socks? Dev moves the socks. Making this a big deal, making this a big issue, man, for what? It is what it is. Now, it becomes a respect issue is if those socks continue to pile up on my desk and more socks and other stuff, water bottles and equipment, like that's just being disrespectful.
Right.
And so,
I was gonna say, if you said that and I was just like, so what?
Right.
That's disrespectful.
Now we all being petty.
It's like they just socks. They just sitting there. Why? Why you got a problem? Right. Why, now I'm escalating the situation.
Right.
I'm being petty because she's asking me to do something simple, which is take the socks off the desk.
Right. I want to tell you that life is so short and there are so many different things that you will have to battle in marriage and in life. Let me tell you, like right now in my life, those socks are not an issue. They're not a problem. They're more annoying than anything, but it becomes a funny annoying. It becomes me throwing them on his side. It becomes me saying, Dad, get your socks. But I'm not really stressing those socks. I'm not pressing those socks. Like, again, life, if when you keep living, life will hit you in so many different ways. And it becomes so tiring, so draining. The only energy that you have is to put all the energy into the battle that you are really facing. And we need each other's strength to get through the real battles. Those socks are not an issue. Even being clean, cleanly shouldn't be an issue because we're trying to be respectful to one another. So let's just respect each other's boundaries and differences. And if I know that you're this type of way, right? I know Devin likes his shirts folded a certain way and he likes his drawers a certain way. I can care less. But because I'm in this marriage and I want it to work for us, I'm willing to roll his shirts and his socks and put them the way he wants them in his drawer. Now my drawer, I put them how I want. I put them how I have it set up. And I'm not going to force him to have his drawer set up the same way my drawer is set up. But can we at least be respectful to one another and respect each other's differences? Right? I don't have a problem with dishes being in the sink sometimes, right? But when they're in the sink all the time, it becomes a problem. And so living with one another, right? We don't just live with ourselves. Well, we got 3 other ones here too. We're trying to teach them how to be responsible adults and individuals that are going to become adults.
Yes.
We're trying to teach them how to work with one another, doing chores and how to respectfully communicate to one another. If we are fighting all these little bitty situations and making them big battles, I'm telling you, you don't have time and energy to fight the real ones and the big ones that are coming your way. Because we're not, we can't just dodge them. Life is life. The biggest thing that really happened to us in our life is the battle of fighting your health. And when you have health issues and you're going through certain situations, you know that all that petty stuff don't matter. I can't even remember half the things we fought about because they just don't matter at this moment. You know, when you are fighting for your life, when you are there with your spouse, you know, when you have to think about, oh, well, you got to pull your weight here and you got to pick up the slack here. You know, when health becomes an issue, we have to learn how to attack those things together and not be like petty. Who has time to be petty in a situation like that? We got to be able to fight together and not always want to fight one another. That right there is a red flag to answer question 2. I need you to be, you know, I said something that Pastor Vince said before, and this is something that Pastor Dante said before. He was preaching about something. He said, I need somebody that I know that will tear the roof off this thing with me. That's how I feel. I need to be with somebody I know that will tear the roof down with me, that will fight with me. I don't need you to fight me. Fight with me. Because there's so many other things coming our way. And I need to know that you're going to be able to fight with me in this battle of life. That's my simple answer. I don't think it was that simple. But I did answer 2 today. I did it. I said what I said what I said and I did what I did. You know what I mean? But that's my answers. You have anything else left?
Nope.
I hope that we answered it accordingly. I'll see you guys next week. It's G time, y'all. It's time to get up, get active, and get it together. Y'all have a blessed Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. You can watch this again on Instagram. You can also check me out on YouTube, Anchor Podcast, Spotify, Twitter, and Facebook, all under Miss G, Miss G Talk. I forgot my own name for a minute. I don't. Okay.
You got a Twitch account?
Look, I got it. Oh, Mrs. G Talk. And like I said before, as of July, you'll be able to go to my website and be able to book some appointments. I have started life coaching for Hope, life coaching and consulting with Mrs. G Talk. You'll be able to find all those things as of July 2021. I'm super excited. Thank you guys for all your support. I love you. I hope that I'm answering all your questions the way that you want me to answer them. If not, come on here. Let's start talking. Tell me, no, that's not what I mean. You ain't got to say that it's your question, but you can say, well, what about? And let's be interactive in this thing. It's G time, y'all. Have a good one.